to be done at some point. Oh, let's not glue the plastic bit to your own clothes, Pixel. Uh, I got a bit much glue on there. That's why I was wiping it off a bit. I'm just making sure. And the same here. We're gonna have glue here, and this is hot glue, so we can actually just roll this off once it's dry or cool down. But we can also leave it because it's gonna leave textures. Old wonky weapons like this have texture for sure. And then we'll need to glue that down in the end. But this is like one of the later things we'll do. And then we'll cut off a bit of this pipe, and we will find a knife so we can sharpen it. So we make a pointy stick. Because then we can just cut it to length. If we want to, we can shove it all the way through back in here. So it doesn't matter too much if it's a little bit longer than you thought. And then I'm just gonna roll the knife back and forth to make a groove all the way around. Because that when I break it, it's literally gonna break there. And that's exactly what happened. Would have been a bit embarrassing if it wouldn't have worked. This is also a thing we might have been smart enough to do beforehand, but we can just sort of poke and screw this in through the foam like such. Question is, oh, okay, this plastic bit did not want to be there right now. All that glue for nothing. Okay, I'm gonna make this a bit shorter. It doesn't have to go all the way back. It only has to stick it because it has nothing to do with structure basically. So we're just gonna pop this in there. Make sure that it's in about the right place because it's gonna be held up by this plastic bit and there's like a metallic bit that goes up around the pipe and under there. I think it's supposed to be some sort of a release mechanism so you can actually flip this open, I guess. So you can actually get your bullets into your cylinder. But yeah, now that uh, this plastic bit is gone, we can, if we want to, and I do want to, remove a bit of this extra glue that ended up on the bottom pipe there. Trying to keep all of these slightly aligned. Even if it's a wonky weapon, you can't do it too wonky and weird because anybody who knows anything about a weapon will look at it and go like, that couldn't shoot. Yeah, I don't care if it's post-apocalyptic, that couldn't work. So our job is to make it look like it could work. Uh, it has all the right mechanical components and everything. And things are aligned enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just have to make people believe that it's perfect. Or as we commonly say in the, well, any special effects or prop making industry, you fake it till you make it. Nothing is real. What's that green bit? Well, it's just a bit of craft foam, so like a very thin foam that is glued on top there because you can see it's kind of like a wraparound on the on the pipe here. I have these like this wrapping around in two places. Well, mostly in that place, but a little bit up here as well. Uh, so you get this sort of effect, like it's a metal band wrapped around. And it's just green because that's the length of craft foam. That's the color of craft foam I had. So I have like a sheet of it. For the other part, we did cut out a part that was too small though. So we're gonna do the same thing, but we'll use this black craft foam. Oh, let's okay. Let's glue. Let's try and get some glue in between the plastic bit and the wooden dowel now. But remember, we're also going to put one of these craft foam bits around there, so it's a little bit gooey. It's okay. It's a little bit messy. It's fine. And then you can use some water or your own saliva if you don't have any water. Just because glue, no matter what glue almost, don't really like to adhere to liquids for reasons. So if you want to smooth something out, just take a bit of old foam, wet it somehow, and you can smooth that out. Just a little bit. It's a little bit wonky, but still not too wonky to actually work. Alright, time for some of that lovely contact cement again. And prep gluing on that part. And I realize now the other picture I used, it actually, when I built the original, had like a line here, but this doesn't. So this actually doesn't wrap around on the original. But again, we're making a post-apocalyptic scrap weapon, so you can see this pipe part here is wider than this part up here, which we're not making it, so there's that too. Oh yeah, we were going to measure out the size for you. That's to there. But yeah, that's good. If you have any, if you do, you found cards, good. If you do wonder what, if I don't explain something because I just get into it and do stuff, do write any questions you have in the chat. And I will try my best to answer your questions about what the hell am I doing. So if anybody is like inclined to figure out what things cost. So let's talk about material cost for this one. Craft foam, not expensive. Floor mats, super cheap. PVC pipes, probably the cheapest thing in the whole build. Uh, some plastic bits or whatever, hard bits, you know. You can have, just go and buy yourself an ice cream and you get a nice couple of good sticks. I mean, literally, you can use whatever for that piece of the structure. So the price for the material, it's not negligible, but I wouldn't say it's a whole lot. But never count this like, it's so cheap, it's free. Especially if you're gonna go into business doing something, every little thing counts. Every little thing counts. Still working. Yeah, so am I. Well, since you're working and you're British, I will salute you in a cup of tea for your brave sacrifice and work, which can be a brave sacrifice and hard times. So let's hope you're having a good time at work at least. Kind of want to make this thinner, but I still can sand this down a bit if I want to. Might not, might not, might not bother with it. All right, we are waiting for that, and this sort of clip thingy, that's just going to be craft foam. It doesn't have any structure. It doesn't have to have structure. This area is a bit bigger on my version than their version though. But you know, that happens. It's not a perfect replica. It's a version, I guess. Let's heat this up and bend it a bit, because that's supposed to be bent. Ooh, we're also gonna blast all of this with the hot air gun before painting. 'Cause I'm gonna, there we go, that's kind of what it looks like. Nice grip, fits pretty well in my hand anyway. We're gonna sand down these sharp edges a little bit. We're gonna make some bumps into it or so it looks more like a handle that you would like to hold. It's dry enough, I say. It's dry enough, I say. And again, we can always do a little bit of an adjustment like that. We could also make this piece with hard plastic if we want to, but I think I'm just going to take a bit of craft foam or something. Or I'll cut something from this, because it seems might be a bit thicker. And then we need to make these little holes. They are very important, you see, for the gun. But let's find ourselves a tiny little one of these. The things that we never throw away and we always save. The leftovers from cutting out holes, because this is going to be like a tiniest little thing there. Just like that. Super duper easy. A little dab of hot glue. There we go. One little piece done. And then let's do that one. Because that one we can just glue there, and then we'll just pull this up around, and that will go on there, right? Yeah. So let's figure out where to put glue. That's kind of important. On the underside and on the end, and like on the end here and on the top of the pipe. Okay. So while we still have some glue left here, we might as well use it. Glue on the end. Oh, let's start. Yeah, that has started to sort of cure. Okay, I guess. Ah, loose. Yep, save everything because you might use it later. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna save this thing. Go away. I'm gonna save this one for sure. So it's like a tiny, I mean, you could use it for stuffing, but at some point you have to put your foot down and look yourself in the eyes in the mirror or something and go, no, it's enough now. Stop it. Stop it. Some glue there. Oh, some glue on the top. Remove the little glue strands. There we go. All right. Screws and rivets. Well, we have rivet material in here. There should be some of these small ones. I mean, ta-da! And then we have this sort of bendy thing. But yeah, we need to make those grooves. We need to be groovier. And we're simply going to use the rotary tool. Yeah, well, that didn't. I was hoping it would keep the round shape, but since this is rotating, it wants to kind of pull all the time. And then we'll sand down a little bit around them. They're not super even, but that's also not something I worry about because if you start looking at all the details, nothing on this gun is even. We also need to cut one manually out here because I don't think I can fit the Dremel in down there. So if I'm willing to skip some parts and don't care about some sizes, why am I so adamant about getting these little weird grooves in? Huh? Why do I really want those grooves? Uh, it's okay. Not perfect, but it's okay. Yeah, get our groove on, indeed. So, does anybody have a good answer for that? Does anybody knows what these are for? Because they do serve a purpose if it was a real gun. They do have a point. And you can see them in some way or another on just about any revolver, I think. Otherwise, I'll be surprised if we didn't. All right. You see, there's a little thing here. We can go to this one. There's a little thing here, and it's actually pivoted to this. This is normally an internal mechanism, much smaller, but every revolver has a little pin that goes into these grooves somewhere on the revolver, depending on the design. But it is what keeps the cylinder from turning when you're not using it. The cylinder should turn when you pull the trigger. Otherwise, not spin, just randomly spin around. It has to be locked in place. But as you pull the trigger, pang, and then it should turn. And that's a stop to keep it from turning. So when you pull the trigger, this goes down and it frees the cylinder so it can move. And that's something they made in a scrap gun in a game, and I'm just forever fascinated that somebody took that time designing this thing in the game. And I'm not even American, and I know this. Oh my God! Sorry, all Americans. I didn't mean to be rude. No, but when you study weapons and when you make prop weapons and stuff, you learn all these sort of weird things about guns. I am actually working on a prop that will have a working cylinder mechanism, I guess we can call it. It's going to be a plastic prop without the proper barrel or firing pins or anything. But I'm working out the mechanism, which of course the basic mechanism for a revolver can be found anywhere on the internet, I guess. Shouldn't be too hard. But still, it's a pretty interesting because in this case that all goes around in this little box. Usually you have some springs and stuff in the handle as well, but the mechanism to make a revolver is fantastic. Yeah, that this revolves, it's because it's called a revolver. The cylinder revolves. Indeed, yo. And we put that on there. Here we go. So I like how they have thought about that. I think I love how they have thought about every like small aspect. I like how the back end of the cylinder, if this there was a hole all the way back here, how there is because we're gonna have to make a groove here because the hammer goes in here and hits the back end and of the bullet right there, of course. So it's a pretty well thought out design for a game. Oh yeah. Have a good night, you too. Thanks for popping by and saying hi. It was nice to see you. So what we're gonna have to do, if we want this to be right, because I didn't do that on the first one, is that we're gonna need a slit here. We're gonna need to have an opening here, like that. Now this is glued to the backside there, so we'll see how easy this is gonna be. We'll get some tools for that maybe, and just rip it out of there. Rip it out. Yeah, but when you play role-playing games and you make props, you learn weird shit about weapons and all the weird shit in the world, basically, which is pretty funny. It's like when you're talking to prop making people and people in the movie industry, and like, yeah, I use incognito mode quite a lot on my browser because I don't want anybody to see my browser history. And it's not because they want to see weird stuff, it's because they need to see weird stuff so they can fake the weird stuff. Like people, I know people who have been stopped by the police when they have had, literally have had body parts in their trunk, but fake body parts. So they get stopped and they go like, "Hi, I'm working with a movie, so if you open the trunk, don't worry. I just want you to know the things in the plastic bags are fake." Ah. All right, and that's coming along nicely now. I'm not happy about the spacing there, but that's because I didn't do this before. I need to learn how to do this before. These should also be lined up to end up between the chambers in the cylinder. But yeah, such is life. But what we can do is that we can make this little stop part. And then we have to make the sides, and then we have to do the hammer and the trigger. And we'll do some sanding. But yeah, we're getting there. What time is it? Ah, it's not. It's just after 5. This is going rather well then. So we could cut this off and then put this on, or we're not using this for this part. Meh. Okay, so let's sketch out that hammer part then. So we can cut that out. That's a fairly important part of a gun, like this. I like because it doesn't even have. It's just like a pointy bit. So, oh whoa, such an amazing design job. So let's. Okay, it's a pretty steep angle, and then this goes a little bit closer than the 90 degree, and then it's tapered like that. So we could cut this out like that and then fix that shape. And this can be about as wide as the thick as the foam is, I guess, because this part is two foams thick. A foam is now a officially recognized measurement unit in this channel. Actually, we should probably cut that out right away. We can just do. Oh wait, we might want to cut out this piece that's in the way first. And before we start cutting out everything else, we can just. Oh, that went wonky. We can just sort of dry fit that to there. Yeah, because that's gonna get glued down. We need to make it small, but we need to remove this texture anyway. And then we are doing some sanding, I think. It's so thin, it's hard to cut without it. Yeah, because now it broke. Oh, let's hope it's doable anyway. Otherwise, we'll cut out a new one. And ish, ish. Pixel cast confusion on Doggo. It's super effective. And all these little fuzzy parts we can see, I don't know if you can see them actually, but all the fuzzy little parts, they're gonna go away once we hit this with the hot air gun before painting. And oh yeah, we were talking a bit about that. Hitting it with the hot air gun before painting. And why? Well, it's pretty simple. This is a foam, which means it's full of small bubbles, which will absorb paint. But if you hit it with a heat gun, can you it's not that, oh well, there we go. Can you see how shiny that part is? It's because I've melted the top surface here and closed off most of the pores. So when you're painting on this, it's not going to suck up as much paint as this is. So that's why before you paint anything made of foam, you should always go over it lightly, just a little bit. Don't overdo it with a hot air gun. Okay, so there we go. Let's do a trigger. It doesn't have to be any advanced at all. We can just go because we just found a piece of scrap out in the wilderness, in the outback somewhere, and we're making a gun from whatever we found. And our trigger is just going to be this random chunky metal bit we saw on the ground one day and thought, hey, that looks like a perfect part for a trigger for my gun, so I can defend myself against the zombies and the black bears and mutated meat-eating kangaroos and all the stuff, all the stuff that we might need to do, rad scorpions and all the things. Yeah, watch the fingertips. Oh yeah, both when you're sanding and when you're using the hot glue. I have had a few burns for sure. Okay. Well, besides some detailing, this could be done because this is how it looks without the suppressor on. We need some sights on there and need some little riveted things, and we need this stop bit. So let's make the stop bit. If anybody knows what the stop bit should be called, feel free to tell me, because I have no idea. I don't know that much about revolvers. It's actually almost wrapped around there. Oh yeah, we're gonna use one of these as our little pin for that. Okay, there's just a little bit tapered off. And then we are going to sand this down. Yeah, this thing grips like amazing sometimes, and sometimes it just rips the foam right out of your hands. It happens. Not as much with the Dremel as it does with the belt sander though. That thing is brutal. Oh yeah, there's like a height difference there. We need like a washer basically behind that, I think. A spacer, a washer, something that gives us a bit of distance. And I was gonna cut this round, and I'm starting to wondering why, because it's not gonna matter. It's better if it's square actually. It looks more like we put a bit of a spacer behind there. Let's take one that has a shorter screw sticking out. And again, these screws are not metal. These things, they are made of plastic. I have cast them in resin, and I have a mold for them that I use when I cast other thing in resin. And if there's any excess leftover resin, I just pour it in these screw and nut and bolts molds. And then I can have some nice fake screwing going on. Alright, we have a couple, one, two, three rivets. This should probably have like a screw head like that on that side though. That will be looking really good. We don't have a view from the other side, so I'm just making this up now. Have you heard such a thing? try and line that up a bit. Like if there's a bolt going all the way through now. Sort of sells the illusion a little bit better, I think. And then there's like this little distance washer thingy. And then we shall have 1, 2, 3 tiny little rivets on each side. And we're going to try and line those up. And that's going to be fun. Because we don't really have any good way of lining them up. We could measure it. But you know, then we would have to like, measure it. Do I only have 3 of those? We could actually, oh, I have 4. I even made way too few. Oh, I see one more. 5. Come on, one more. One more. One more little treasure. Come on. I guess you technically is one. Here we go. You is one. That's some good English right there. Quality English. You is one. These are so small, so any hot glue might just make a mess out of things. So I think we're going for our third glue. That's the super glue. I'm just cutting them down so they're not so thick. Don't want them so thick. Put the leftovers in there. We might have use for them at some time. At some point in time, you never know. So that good old super glue. Get myself a toothpick or two. So it's like here, and then, oh yeah, there's like that's actually a Phillips, but because of course maybe those are screws as well. We can sort of fake this with the rivet bits as well by simply cutting a groove in the heads and use it as a normal screw head and not a Phillips. Yeah, because of course, oh yeah, there's not going to be any on the other side. These are not going all the way through. These are, because of course you want to use screws, because you want to be able to take things apart and repair it, right? Oh, that's a lot of glue though. Do not need that much glue. This pin will be on the other side though, because that's the pin that pivots the hammer. So we're gonna have to do at least that one. Oh yeah, maybe I need to slice a piece off as well then. Try to line it up without getting it stuck on our finger. It's lined up well enough. I am not happy with how that looks. We're not using those. We're doing it the other way. So, besides using pipes to cut holes in foam, you can also do fake countersunk rivets and screws by just pressing this into it like that. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to take this little plastic pipe and we're going to go. Oh gosh, that went deep. Well, stuff happens. You don't have to do much at all. And then we can actually do this same thing on the other side. Because this, and then we will take the knife and we will just cut down the middle. We have ourselves a screw. It doesn't may not look as much, but once we start hitting this with heat, magic is going to ensue. I think I'm gonna fill that up with one of our discarded small rivet thingies. Maybe? Is that doable? Oh yeah. There we go. Nope. Why are you so troublesome? We'll keep it like that then. Maybe there's a screw missing. Maybe that's why the revolver. Maybe that's why it's stuck. I can't really fire it. Let's pretend that's the reason anyway. No, because when you another fun thing you can do with foam, if you haven't seen this, this is one of the more magically cool thing with foam. If you cut, if you just break the surface, cut a few millimeters down, not much at all. You get like a little panel line there. But if we hit this with heat from the heat gun, did you see that one happened? Can you see how well this is? See now? Because it sort of contracts the surfaces and open up all these cuts that you have made. So you can do really nice panel lines. And then of course in the corners, it's a bit small, you can make rivets. So it looks like it's actually attached there as well. Okie doke. So where are we at? We are doing some sights and then we're doing the thing. The suppressor. It's not a silencer, it's a suppressor. Oh, dropping my plastic pipes on the floor. That's not what we're supposed to do, Pixel. So, yeah, let's do this. Oh yeah, this handle also has like a wrap and we need to sand. Oh, we should maybe, we can lift that up and sand under here. So before we forget that again, let's sand down these edges. Here we go. hmm Okay, but we can't hit stuff right now because we don't have any sights. But the sights are also like super, super simple. You can use a bit of plastic for that as well. And this is going to be quite prominently seen. So to be able to paint this properly, we should sand it down a bit so all the paints and everything can get stuck on there properly. And then we can even out this edge a bit. This is going to be about, I don't know, that wide. That wide is a good measurement, I think. And the thing is with the semi-hard or hard plastics like this is that you don't have to cut all the way through. Uh, you just have to score it deep enough and then you can just basically off. Another good thing with this plastic is that this is also very shapeable when it's warm. So all we need is a hot air gun. And of course that end is going to need to be sanded again now because it's smoothed out a little bit. And this is not a very working site. I could bring up a picture, but basically what we're going to do is sand down a groove in the back here. Like so. We'll get this glued on here. We'll put some fake screws. There are some fake screws holding this in place. This is not quite as long as the cylinder, so let's snick that off a bit. And let's not forget to sand this heated part again. So we can try and avoid any sort of problems that might occur otherwise with painting. Might need to go deeper on that groove. I don't know. Also don't really have to be a super well working site, I suppose. And this is about as wide as that. So, snickety snickety snickety. The front corner is cut down, and then and now this is very small, so holding on to this while we're heating it up is going to be problematic. So we'll use the pliers for that. Oh no, I bent it the wrong way. I guess it doesn't matter, though. Yeah, I know. I got this headset from this crazy nice dude, and he's just like, I heard he need a headset. Here, take it. And it's working pretty well. The only thing about it is that when you're leaning forward a lot, it tends to want to go flip a little bit, slide a little bit, but that's easily adjusted. And for those of you who didn't get that, that is Hawks. He's the awesome dude that gave me these headsets. And they're comfortable. Sound is great. The audio quality, I have heard uh, good things from the audience as well. So I know he is like way beyond nice. Hawks is an awesome, awesome person. I could say awesome a few more times without overdoing it actually, but then I wouldn't have time to say so much else. So Well, that looks like we could fake it to work or something. Yeah, I understand. Especially when you're standing working like this and you're bending your head all the time. But at first I was like, what the hell is this? Something feels weird, and I was like, oh yeah, because they're made for to hang like this more. Okay. So I mean, it's nothing that is ever gonna be considered a problem for me anyway. Let's grab some of these small ones. We need to make some more screws, guys. How are things, Hawks? Are you home from work now? You got off? Did you get out? Oh yeah, if you wanna have a chance of winning this little thing, uh, you just write pipe dream in the chat. By the way, haven't said that in a while, and now that new people are arriving into the chatterinos, we might as well say that. No exclamation mark or anything, just one word, pipe dream, because it's a pipe revolver, you dig? You got it. And some fake screws that we're gonna cut into. Yeah, exactly. You just put them down and then you just go home. Yeah. So if you want a pipe revolver or a chance to win a pipe revolver at least, otherwise if you want a pipe revolver, let me know and I'll build a third one, I guess. So I mean, whatever. But you can have a chance of winning one if you want to. Winning things are cool. Okay, guys, girls, and everybody else. You know what? We have the suppressor thingy to make. Ah, yeah, there's a wrap around here. We're gonna have to do the wrap, and we'll just use the craft foam for that, of course. Uh, so that's how long are you? Here we go. So yeah. So anybody who hasn't entered, I mean, there's a while left until this is done because it's gonna get painted as well. Hmm? But still, if you don't wanna miss out. Hey, Bone, are you still here? Are you listening to this chat as well? I'm guessing you're over in Brush's stream as well. Present, sure. Uh, let people know that if they like Fallout, there's a Fallout prop to be uh, raffled away. They don't have to be here when I draw. If you don't mind, sir, since it's Brush's stream, we know that it's kind of okay to do that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Just have to drill some holes into this now, eh? And then we're gonna prime and paint. Woohoo! Bra. Okay. Yeah. No, as long as and that goes for Brush as well. If he likes a prop gun, he can just pop in and write pipe dream and then just don't pop in again. I mean, he can do it if he's gonna go on a potty break or something, I guess. Uh, then again, he also likes to build things. But I also know that builders like to have things from other builders. It's not like I want a Fallout gun. It's more like I want something that this guy has built because I saw him do things. It's pretty funny. Makers are a funny breed of folks. Okay, so let's measure this. So that's 65, so 33-ish. I'm getting too many tools here now. It's always what happens. Oh, there's a small one. Yeah, and I mean, painting is not gonna take that long. There's a bit of dibbery-dabbery going back and forth when we're doing a rusty prop like that, but we are really getting there. And that's about middle, and then that should be like at 15 from the middle. Trying to get an even-ish spacing. And then I am off camera for a bit because I'm gonna put this up in the vise. I'm gonna find a drill first for to make that hole. To make them holes. Can these big drills fit in the machine even? Well, take the biggest drill we got. Nope, these are too big. These are too big. What are you then? How big are you? Why doesn't it say on the side? Silly little thing. I guess we could drill a smaller hole and then we could go in with the Dremel. Oh yeah, so we don't slide around so much. Oh, whoa, follower, hi! Hello, Fox Art. Welcome in. I am guessing you heard the word from the Bone Man, because I do know your name. Hey, Snack Punch. You should probably. No, you can lurk all the way you want, Snack. It's super okay. Uh, you should, however, if you already haven't, write pipe dream in the chat. No exclamation mark, one word, pipe dream. In case you want to have a chance of winning this little thing once it's done. I'm gonna be out of camera for a bit because I'm gonna drill some holes. No, dream. Like you're sleeping and you're dreaming. Pipe dream. Because you're dreaming of pipes. All you have to do is dream. There we go. Boop. And one snacky is in for the race. Well, actually, now that I have these cool headphones, I can actually be behind my computer and off screen and still talking. Whoa. I should probably do some pilot holes for this because this is a pretty big drill. Let's find ourselves a smallish drill then. And then we make the bacon holes. Here we go. What? You're not a dumb. Just because you couldn't hear what I said. Uh, oh. Oh yeah, and then we can use this little thing. Oh yeah, I saw earlier, Snack Punch, that your lease came through, right? You got the new place. Hey, Brom. That is so awesome. Oh God, that has to feel good, man. That has to feel really good. Congratulations, my friend. I am very happy for you. They approved it. They approved you. That's just amazing. That is just awesome. All right. I don't know if you heard that, Brom, but we're giving this away once it's done. If you want to have a chance at the pipe revolver, you can write pipe dream in the chat. No exclamation marks or anything. One word, pipe dream. And you're in for the little lottery that is the giveaway today. And we're doing this to celebrate that so many of you people are, yeah, we're giving it away. It's a giveaway. I'm celebrating 200 followers on Twitch. According to Twitch achievement log, that's an achievement, so I'm celebrating. We are giving this away for free. You don't even have to pay shipping, unless you really want to help out and pay shipping. Mm-hmm. That is pretty cool. I'm very happy. I think we're at like 215, 220 now, because because of all the because of the awesome art community and maker community. People, I look at my page sometimes and it's like, today you have gained 2 new followers. It's like it's Monday. It's like 2 days since I streamed. What the hell? But shout outs and stuff in Twitch streams helps. It does. People randomly go over and go like, okay, I'll follow. And then they come in and have a look later on maybe. So that's cool. I'm very psyched and happy about that. Just removing all of the bury bits basically right now, and then we are, guess this pipe doesn't really fit on the 16 mil pipe, so we're gonna make some adjustments there. So yeah, if you want in pipe dream in chat, no exclamation mark, one word, because this is a little bit too wonky for me. So we're gonna fill up a bit. We are gonna fill that up a bit. And we're gonna sand this whole thing actually, because it's plastic, and what we have said about trying to paint shiny plastic. Yeah, getting followers, not being online or anything. I mean, I follow a bunch of streamers that I haven't had time to watch yet, so I know exactly how it happens. It's just pretty cool when it does happen, when you notice it yourself. Yeah, a going ape costume. Welcome in. You're catching us right at the final phases of building this prop replica gun from Fallout 4. How are you? How are you doing? Yeah, followers, super tasty, tasty followers. No, I'm not eating followers. Don't leave. Don't leave. Unless they want to be eaten, I guess. No, no, we're not eating followers. No follow eating. All right. So, yeah. So we have been using. We don't. We have used another. I have like all the screenshots of all the. I basically have screenshots of this gun from the game, with all the different options. So we started the stream by picking some options, because I have made this one before, though we haven't used this as a reference really, because I wanted to do everything on stream, so we started by sketching and measuring. Basically, I realized when this picture, when you blow it up like this, it's 1-to-1 scale. So we have more or less used this, and then there's some artistic license, of course. Also, it's a pipe revolver from Fallout, so it's gun in game, a gun that's made of scrap. So I'm thinking tolerances can be shifting. Ah, you've been lurking while you make your bed. Nice. Go on. Good morning. Oh yeah, go. Yeah. I think anybody can do shout outs. You can try Bone Shooter. Give Going Ape shout out. Followers, you know. Uh, you should definitely go over there and hang out sometimes too, people. I haven't said it like that for. I thought I had. I'll need to fix that. No, it is SO. It is SO, but uh, let's see. There we go, Bone Shooter. Have a sword in this chat too, I guess. There we go. Yeah, but I want to spread the love, and I like your streams, and I want to share that with other people as well. But yeah, in, if you're really in for the prop, it is being given away once it's painted and done. So, uh, pipe dream, pipe dream in chat. No exclamation marks, no spaces. One word, pipe dream. If you are interested in going in on the draw and the giveaway. So my plan is, because I did this on the other one, is to sort of fill that up because this is a bit of a gappity gap and we don't want that. We want this to go on straight, basically. This is a bit thick, but it's what I got. Huh, here we go. Bone Shooter, the most modded person on Twitch. I hope you don't mind. I am not expecting you to perform anything uh, extraordinary and always be here or anything. But you know what you're doing, and I'm very comfortable with having you with a sword in case of shout out is needed. Should be able to for everybody, but whatever. We'll look into that after the stream. No, because if you do a gap there, it's just gonna, the whole thing is just gonna tilt. And I've been mentioning this few bits today, but it's worth saying. When you're making post-apocalyptic stuff like this basically is because it's Fallout, you can do things wonky, especially pipe revolvers are, made from scrap, so sure they're wonky, but the people that looks at it is us, and we're gonna see if it's actually wonky or if it's wonky by design, so it looks the way it should. Yeah, I don't have that many. I don't know what you can do from the chat with Moobot. I haven't looked that up actually at all. I just like Moobot because making commands in Moobot on the actual web page is so simple. Their interface is just, it's made so that anybody can do it. It's basically a bunch of colored boxes you can move around. You don't have to remember all the short stuff for like at the player or at user or who said what. It literally has like buttons you can just click to make all things work. But yeah, this is a bit. Now we got a different problem. Now it's too snug. So we're just gonna. Just gonna taper it a bit so we can press that on there. So we can get that on there. Here we go, nice and snug. Now all we have to do is remove it again, put some glue there. That is in place, that's in place, sights in place. We need a wrap around the handle. Yeah, there's a wrap, okay. Let's go back through all the screenshots. If I had chosen to what I would have done beforehand, this would have been much faster. There we go. No, that's the wrong grip. That's the wrong. Where is it? There it is. This is what we're making, and you can see it has this. Well, yeah, you can see it has like a wrap around the handle because why not? I guess. Comfort maybe. It is supposed to be the comfort grip. It's the actual name of the grip. It says right there. Comfort, yeah, comfort grip pipe revolver pistol. Next week on the prop stream and all the coming weeks are gonna be super exciting when we're starting to build the warrior priest armor. That's gonna be fantastic. Alright, we need some of the green nice craft foam and make a wrap that goes around like 3 wraps around. Don't know if we have to be that. Yeah, I know it's like comfort. There's also the other grip. What's it called? It's called like a sharpshooter's grip. Like yeah. It's basically this one that I made. It's like the sharpshooter's grip. Okay, because it's solid. Is that it? That makes you better shot. I don't know, but it has some really cool parts for this. And this is just a pipe revolver. There's so many options in Fallout 4 for guns. You could literally make a career of just making every gun. At one point, I want to 3D print this gun, this type of model of gun, and just make all the parts. Just make all the damn parts. And magnetize everything so you could just change it out. That would be the coolest prop. I don't think this is long enough, so let's make 2 and put them together. Get them together. Okay, where do you start? Do we really care about that? No, it's gonna be it's gonna cover from there until just up there. Okay, let's do this. Some super glue, because I don't want to wait for contact cement anymore. This is gonna get stuck there pretty quickly now. You have to go? Thank you. Yeah, I understand. That's okay. That is very kind of you and considerate. I appreciate it a lot. And I appreciate you stopping by and saying hi and hanging out for a while. It was super nice to have you. All right. Yeah, this is totally solid. I don't know if I even need that last one. I think we can get away with this. We just need to get this squeezed in under there so we can sort of pretend it's wrapped tightly and is holding on like this part. So now, because then we can just sort of glue this, and we can have even have this like sort of hanging out a bit. Doesn't really matter too much in this case. A little bit too much glue there. Just go. And then it's off to another room for me for a little bit, because I need to get some primer on this. But first, because we have talked about it, it would be really embarrassing if I forgot it. I, because I talked about this, heat sealing your foam. Now be very careful doing this if you have used a lot of hot glue, because the hot glue will soften up when you heat it, surprisingly enough. A bit of fussy bit there I didn't really approve of. Go. Well, it's almost straight. Not bad. Ready to go adventuring? Well, not yet. Yeah, it gets shiny. Exactly. It gets shiny. Okay. I'm kind of not liking how floppy it is, but the only way to deal with that would be to put like some rigid part in the middle here. This is less floppy, but it's also got two pieces of foam, so it's a much more stable grip. But yeah, you stuck still there, everything. Yeah, nothing came loose. Nothing came loose. Time for some primers. So I will leave you to watch its predecessor for a little bit. I won't even put up the Be Right Back screen because I'm going around the corner to another room. Find myself a nice piece of wire that this can hang from. I will spray it and then I will bring it back to the other side of this room because I have a fan over there that I can turn on. So we can get this the paint to dry quicker. But I will turn off the mic while I am away though. Oh, there we go. Oh, they turned off while I wasn't using them. Interesting. Well, we are back. Oh, it doesn't even pick up the fan in the background now that I have a headset on. That's awesome. All right, so we're not doing anything more with any of these tools since we are now in the painting phase of things. So we're just gonna unplug all the hot things. I'm gonna clear off a whole bunch of the tools, put them to the side because I want to make space so I can paint. We're into the really fun parts now. I actually like the whole process of making things, but no. Yeah, exactly. You should make things just because you like them. It's like with any art, any creativity. You can just go ahead and smack this up there, build that here, do that. It is, if you like to make it and you like the stuff that you make and it makes you happy, that's just that. I'm so happy these days. I'm not even like, because I suffer from some serious depression sometimes, and even the bad days now feel pretty good since I started doing this full time. Because I lost my job to COVID because I worked in tourism, so that wasn't really well. And yeah, okay, I'll do it. Oh yeah, I should be following that because I follow her on Twitch and stuff. I usually try to follow. I might have missed it, I guess, but I try to follow everybody on all the places. Once I start following them, I'm a little bit relentless like that. I'm just gonna stalk the hell out of you. Is there anything else, anything in particular you think I should see, Bone Shooter? What is it that you wouldn't want me to see? But you know what I can do? Ha, look what I got. I don't need a reference picture anymore because I have this and it's basically everything is just rusted metal. So let's go and investigate. Does the pixel props follow the going ape costume on the Instagrams? Oh yeah, I've seen the Revenant. I have seen that. Yeah, I thought I was sure I was. Now I'm super sure. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's the best things. Like, can I do this? How would I do this? And then just like go and figure out, and then I'm like, yeah, I could do this. Cool. It's basic. That's the story of my building career, basically. Hey, I want to do this. I have no idea how this would work. But I'm pretty good at figuring things out, actually. I'm pretty good at making shit up that way. Yes, the problem solving aspect of it. Like if I see a thing on a picture, I can usually figure out how to make it work. And so the extra push I needed to start making things for a living, except being out of a job, I guess, was going to the university like 3 years ago to study prop making, opening up your eyes to like the whole world of possibilities. I still do like making things from foam because it's easy accessible and you can get some nuts result with it actually. Yeah, figuring out yeah, I have like projects like I that I have finished that I know I will never finish simply because I've done the part of solving how it would be done, so it's not even interesting anymore. Which of course can cause some issues because you're gonna have a lot of stuff hanging around after a while. How are you doing, paint? You ain't dry yet? Nope. Okie dokie. Let's move the cutting mat away because we don't need more paint on that. There is the black and there is the metallics. Do, do, do. Finding all the right colors. Just changing the scene completely. And then we'll take some of these mini wargaming thingies. And we'll take the big brush. Stabby stabby. Mr. Stabby Stabby. And a smaller brush. We need some water and some kind of a plate as a palette. Looky looky. One of those things right there. Yeah, I'm a bit behind about looking at Savage's videos actually. Um, I have not seen. I saw that it was there, but I haven't really looked at it. Right now, I am in the middle, basically watching his part one of his raptor costume build, and I'm like, now that's a cosplay, full-scale wearable raptor costume. Dun, 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 dun. Let's have a look. Okay, this side looks kind of dry, so let's turn this bad. Okay, it wasn't completely dry, but dry enough for now. Do we need something else right now? No, we can take the brown paint, I guess. Oh yeah, we want our mini paints. We want our whole set of mini paints for some of the rusty rust colors. So let's move that bag up here somewhere. Okay, the hot glue gun. I really don't want to put away the hot glue gun while it's hot, because then I'll just go and grab it and then I'll burn myself or something. So we shall take away all the other tools to make some room. And the extra glue and the PVC pipes. I swear half the time you're just cleaning when you're making things. Hey, you're back! Oh, interesting choice for your computer. Uh, it's going well. It's being have been primed and it's hanging around, drying. That's why the fan is on. It's actually 21 degrees in here now with the fan on, so it's quite cozy. So we're reaching troll level of comfortable heats in here anyway. Uh, if you want to take a note of that for future endeavors, maybe. I don't know. Ah, oh, look, some red ochre. We're doing rust. I wonder if I should use this. Don't I have an English red somewhere? No, that was out. I was out of English red. Yeah. Well, we have red ochre. It's better, even. Yeah, I tossed him a sword. I kept it for a while and then it was like, okay, shoutouts doesn't work for everybody. It should work for everybody, but I'll fix that later. So I tossed him the sword. We're gonna make Bone Shooter the most modded dude on the Twitch arena in the end, I think. But that's okay. And then he just takes over the whole Twitch. Oh, wait, what? I am gloveless. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Let's go and get a new package of gloves then. So I can splatter on paint as much as I want to without having all the paint on my fingers. Well, technically I think I have 4 prop guns now. Well, 3 that are done and 1 that's not really ready. I can poke him and see if he's got some. Sure. See if he's got a a box of small sized ones. Because I'm guessing that's what you're after. Oh, there we go. Fan has done its wonderful work of quickly drying off things. And it's all matte and black now. It's a bit of green there, but we're gonna paint over that anyway. So, rusty. Old, worn, rusty. The thing I don't like with this one, I should actually have highlighted these edges a bit more where it's worn. So think about that as we start on the painting adventure for this one. We're gonna start with some pewter or tin, Amsterdam acrylics, Amsterdam Standard Series acrylics. I absolutely adore this paint. Oh, because it's on the silvery side of metallics, like steel side, but it has sort of a hint of yellow because it's pewter. Yeah. Oh yeah. And like, cause okay, there's a little bit of green here, but otherwise, when you build something and it's like 95 different color, and then you cover it in like one layer of primer or paint, and it's just like whoa. And my favorite thing otherwise is to look, because when I'm holding onto this one, it's like, oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then I hold it and look into the camera, and I'm like, whoa. Hey Artsy, welcome in. We are about to paint today's giveaway prize, which is this version of a pipe revolver. If one would like a chance to sort of own this little piece of wasteland equipment, all you have to do is to be a follower and write in the chat pipe dream. No exclamation mark, one word, pipe dream. And if you do that, you could be the lucky wasteland survivor to defend yourself with this piece. Okay. Also love to have disposable, well, more or less disposable desks like this. This is just a cheap board, so I can just unscrew it. There's screws everywhere, and just change it out when it's too worn or anything, so I can use it to wipe off paint for dry brushing. Now, however, we are not brushing on anything. We are gonna stipple this whole thing, because if we brush, we're gonna end up quite possibly with some line. The fun thing about this, often when you hear about foam, is that you should put on some plastic dip or like a rubber paint or something first. I have not done that because I want this sort of mini, what do you call it, rough surface. It's not rough, but this sort of porous surface. And we can actually paint it on and then stipple afterwards as well. We're just gonna, well, this part is not metallic. The rest is just, so there's not much color variance here. And we'll start with one side so we can hold on the other and just get it on there. And we're gonna paint quite a few layers of paint on this to get it that rusty worn look. So if we do end up with a few brush strokes in the first layers, it's not gonna matter too much, to be honest. No, you don't have to be present. You do not have to be present if you have to go away. That's fine. I will send you a message on here on Twitch and say, "Hi, you won. Let's do this." It might take a week or so or two before I can send it off though, so it won't be uh, quickly, but it will be put aside. It will have a little name tag on it with your name on it, or at least your Twitch name on it, and then I'll keep the. Oh, that isn't really stuck. Maybe we need to re-glue this one. Maybe the trigger is not stuck good enough. Yeah, exactly. So feel free to join even if you can't stick around. Uh, I was thinking about having like you have to be here, but the problem is then some of my more uh, uh, I was gonna say standard, one of my long-term community members, I guess, I don't know, watchers, True Sausage, who is hopefully asleep by now, who lives in Australia, could not be in on the yeah on the giveaway, so I changed that out quite quickly. So you don't have to be here. You have to be a follower. You have to write the word and hope that your pipe dream isn't just a pipe dream. Yeah, first layer of paint of many on a scrappy gun. Not too worried about. I want a good coverage, but I'm not, and I'm trying to avoid the brush marks, but I'm not super worried about them. Yeah, can you see the screws here now? Yeah. And that's just us pressing something in there and then just cutting. The thing is when you cut into the foam and then heat it, when I heat sealed it, you get that separation and now it looks like screws. Like there are literal screws in the, oh yeah, okay. That did not want to go on there. Well, I guess we'll re-glue the trigger once we're done then. Don't have to worry about that. Turn and twist and turn and twist, or look at it from every angle 3 times so you don't miss any spots. Because once you're a few layers in with different colors, bringing an unpainted area up to the same type of color can be quite annoying. I mean, it's always doable, almost, but it's if you don't have to, why would you? And metallic colors are interesting because they have metallic particles in them, but if you make it too flat paint with the metallic color, they sort of don't have that shine that metal has. So, especially if you're doing like not the prettiest metal, stippling on gives you tiny small ridges which reflect light differently and can actually make it look more metallic just due to the metallic paint works. Metallic paints and painting things in metallics, unless you have like a super smooth surface and you airbrush things on, you're never gonna get that. You're never gonna really get that metallic feel to it. So it's one of the few times when you're painting one-to-one scale that you can sheet and paint highlights to bring out some metallic parts in your build. Normally when you paint one-to-one scale, you don't have to do highlights because, well, the lights in the room does give highlights to things. It's just if you come from a miniature painting background, for for example, or scale modeling or stuff, you paint shadows and highlights and stuff, and you don't really do that on full scale things. You just paint the colors, and then they will look natural in whatever light you have them in, because, well, that's what they are. They're in the right element, so to speak. D-Ray, hi. D-Ray also in the pipe dream. All right. Time to shovel now. Lurk, lurk. You lurk on. Have fun with your shoveling. Cool. Oh, you know what? I put away the pipes, and that wasn't a good plan. Here we go. Here we go. And if I get some sticky stuff in here, I should be able to hold on to this while I'm painting it. Also, I'm getting to bring it out into the shining light over here, so I can look at it from, because that's also a good thing. Take a step back, look at the things that you're working. Even more important with scale models and stuff like that, but always good to just take a step back. Shark in a box. Hello. Up is everything. We are up. I'm super up. We're painting. Yeah, we are painting this one. The giveaway for today. Yeah, I know. Isn't it great? Yeah. So we're gonna paint this. It's not too long to go, I would say, but a bit. And once it's done, I'm gonna go talk to Moobot, and we're gonna draw a lucky winner that will win this revolver. Well, this proper revolver. It's not a revolver for reals, of course. So if you want to have a chance of winning this piece of Wasteland Survivor gear, in the chat you write pipe dream in one word with no exclamation mark or anything. Will you stick there now if I paint you? I think so. Yeah, the command for information, I am not bothered with that at all. I'll just give info out, I thought. I'm actually going to sit down because I'm not doing that many giveaways, but I'm still going to sit down and have a little chat with Moobot on how we can do it properly. And Going Ape is back. You have cleaner dishes now. That is always a good thing. Using the smaller brushes to get into some of the tighter spots. But also we're going to get a lot of shadows in there for free if we don't shine it up too much. So that's also good. On the subject of painting shadows on full scale props, which you usually don't have to do. With metals, sometimes it's a good thing because metal colors don't necessarily behave as metals do. Simply because, well, if you do an airbrush with the metallic paint on a super good flat surface and stuff and good prep and everything, and it's supposed to be shiny, you can get good shiny metal. But otherwise, that's not really happening. I also need a little bowl of water where I can clean my brushes in. And then we're hanging this back up and turning on the fan again, because that means it will dry very quickly between the layers. You could also use a hairdryer if you had one, if you have one nearby. I do not. I do plan to get myself one. I actually plan to get myself a big uh, drying cabinet thingy for laundry. Buy a second-hand one or something. We had that at the university when I was studying prop making. It's really practical to just have a big cabinet where you can just chuck things in and it'll dry quicker. Yeah, it's quite a few people. I wonder how many people are in the giveaway now. I have to have a look after I have successfully hung. Actually, I don't have to hang this. It's mounted on a stick now, Pixel. We should also get some paper over here so we can actually dry out the brush. Then we can just put this line like this. And oh, here we go. Have we got some paper? I also like how that prop gun is so light that it can basically lie. Oh, no, 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 no! Don't do that. Well, it's basically counterbalanced by the PVC pipe. So we're gonna weigh that actually as well to have a look at how much it actually weighs. Guess that will be fun. I'm guessing it's not gonna be much. But first, because I was curious, while that first metallic layer is so 14 entries. All right, way to go. But it's not draw time just yet. Oh yeah, we could always sort of put some metallic. Oh, that's a little bit wet. Paint on the trigger. And we will. I guess we will put the trigger back on with some contact cement later. I guess people are gonna wanna play with it, so it's might as well. Done on the liver. We have everything to make waffles. We have refill on licorice frogs. We have new soda stream canisters and cold essence for it. Sheep ham stocked up. The sheep Gouda, so you got cheese. And you remember to buy a new water bottle. Do you have pictures of the finished hobby horse? You can show that, you know. So when you're doing rust then, we're going to start with our darker color. So we're going to start with my favorite color, which I need to buy a new one of because this is almost out. It's raw umber. It's the best brown ever in the universe. And I'm not going to turn off the fan because we're probably going to want to go back and dry this more. Uh, but yeah, it's all shiny and new silvery. I wish we would have time to put some silicone stuff down here so we can make like it look like a weld, but we're gonna have to skip that because otherwise we're gonna be here for hours because the silicone will take forever to dry. Silly silicone. Right, let's put away the metal. We're gonna use the metal again. We're gonna do some dry brushing with the metals. And we can always go back and fill up with more metal paint if we want to, so we shouldn't be scared of covering with too much of the rusty browns and stuff. And it's the same thing here. I'm gonna wipe out a lot of this, and then we're gonna stipple a lot of it on, and maybe brush a bit over the edges and stuff. Uh, so what we're doing now is the rust layers, and we're gonna build those up a lot back and forth with browns and reds. And then we're gonna go back in the end with this brown just to weather. So this is not weathering, this is painting rust. Uh, base rust on this. Weathering comes afterwards. It's like last getting all the dust and grime on, and we can start painting some running streaks where fluids have collected from rain and, acid rain in the wastelands and whatever not. So, but you can still see the metallic shining through, but there's like we're starting to cover up some of it with the browns, and we want the brown to go on uneven. We want it super rusty in some places and more metallic shine through that. And with just right attachment on front, this will be 100% con-safe. It has no moving part. It doesn't even have any metallic parts really. It's just plastics. Well, resin, but that is sort of plasticky as well. And the only resin that is, it's these bolts. A bit wobbly. Have to be a bit careful painting this so I don't start breaking apart any seams, but it's all very glued together, so it should be pretty well. It's this part I'm a bit worried about, because that's where it bends around. We'll have to keep a look on that. We can always just smack in some more glue. Yeah, so. And when you're doing rust, you don't have to wait for the paint to dry. You can just blend the paints, wet paints on each other. Just go crazy. If you don't like it, let the paint dry, go back, paint it all metallic again. And the only thing that you've done, if you have left the paint to dry that has a texture, is that you have given yourself a texture. And when it comes to rust, that is not a bad plan. Yeah, I'm gonna plug in the hot glue gun again. It's okay, you can yell if you're that happy. I'm okay with that bone shooter. I'm not gonna click it. Yeah, no, I will not click it. Don't worry. I won't lag it. I won't lag that. Oh wait, the hot glue gun is still not over here because it's not really cooled down yet. So a short intermission. I just wanna get some hot glue into here so that will absolutely hold. Are you still warm enough to be used, or do we have to wait for a bit? We might have to put in some new glue, I guess. No, not yet. Okay, so we'll wait for you to get warm. Uh, you don't have to sort of wet blend with this, but don't be worried if you do. It is no problemos whatsoever. And then we can take this small brush and we can go in like where we can't really reach with the big brush. I'm just splattering this on. This is like mapping out a bit. And we're gonna start mixing this color with the red ochre in a moment. We just need this little hot glue gun to start producing some hot glue. Come on! Because that is pushing the glue, okay? And if you get fingerprints in the paint, it doesn't matter either, because there's going to be fingerprint on a gun. These guns are pretty big, actually, but yeah. Did you have time to cool down that much? You're usually a quick one. Let's up the temperature a bit. We can start mixing the paint. Yeah, I think she will be super happy about that. I do believe she will be super happy about that. So, ochre in general. Why does ochre colors make so good rust colors? Well, because ochre is made from iron-rich dirt, basically. if we're gonna do the short version. So if it's like real ochre pigments you're using, uh, then you're literally painting rust with rust. Just saying. Oh, it's starting to drip out a bit. Okay, a little bit more dry. A little bit more selective. We don't want to cover the whole thing in this now. This is for selected spots. A lot around places where water would pool and the rust would be more prominent. Okay, let's see if the glue gun will work because I'm getting nervous about that barrel thingy wibbly wobbling so much. Come on, get stuck in there. It's the best hot glue gun trick that I have ever heard of. Let's hope I just hit the other glue stick. Glue them together. You don't have to bother about holding on to the extra stick sticking out. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna actually put a tiny dab of glue here, like that, and then we're gonna like gently, not squeezing them together, just making sure that the glue is in contact with both surfaces while it's cooling down a little bit, and then it will be forming a nice bond between them. I guess we're gonna have to do the old waiting a little bit now. Don't really want to get the hot glue all over my brushes. All right. And if we wanted to dry between our layers now, we can just uh, put it down where the fan is for a little bit. Uh, get some more of the ochre and less of the brown. We're gonna get some. Do I have? Oh yeah, I have some yellow. So we can dash of yellow to get it more orangey for that like freshness of good old real rust. And the same on the handle. We're probably gonna do some dry brushing with the metal paint afterwards because that's where it's being handled. So any moving parts or anything like that, you can definitely leave metal shiny or go back and shine up. And I'm really overdoing it at this point because as I mentioned, you can just go back and adjust back. Anyway, we can have a look at it because it's always good to have a camera uh, when you're doing things, so you can always look how it looks. Because your eyes get, I don't know what you're gonna call it, fed up with looking at it. So it's never gonna look as good as it does to your own naked eyes. And it's much easier to make mistakes that way. So looking at it there, it looks way better on camera. It looks more, this reads way better like Rust for me. Also depending on your camera settings, I guess. But yeah, let's add that tiniest dash of this yellow to the red so we can do a slightly more orangey color. Wow, that yellow had no pigment in it whatsoever. Let's try some more. Let's overdo it then. See what happens. See where we get a much brighter. There we go. That's more what I want. And it's not too shiny, so that's nice. And try and get to where you have already done the red. And just, I mean, if you need reference pictures, uh, old farm equipment and construction equipment is your go-to, because they usually end up collecting rust, or old industrial landscapes for that matter. Let's grab the smaller brush and get some in underneath there. And let's go lighter. Lighter, more light. More. And this is like 3 colors now. Okay. It's getting to be a bit thick with color here on the bench, so let's use a paper to wipe most of the brush out of instead, maybe. And then we're doing some weathering on top of this, of course. Oh, we need to get the underside there with quite a lot of paint. Because that's starting to look rusty enough. Okay, so let's clean off these brushes and take them away. Or just take them away and put them in water for now. That works too. Where is my little super worthless synthetic brush? Do some other chores before? Yeah, alright. Thank you for dropping by. Lovely to have you here. I'll pop by next time I see you on, and I'm at my computer as well. Let's say hi. Have a great rest of your day. The thing with the horrible brush is that it's really good for dry brushing scratches because the bristles are very hard. So catching edges and stuff like that where it might have scraped off. If you have it in a holster, it's definitely gonna scrape off when you pull it from the holster, things like that. And we bring some, yeah, so over all the hard edges where you know there's gonna be movement and things like that. And then we can, with a hard brush, you can also stipple quite hard, and it will create scratches in random directions because there's a random amount of paint on each little bristle on the brush, and you don't really have any control exactly which way it's gonna go. So metallic scratching and such is it's very nice to have a brush like this, which otherwise would be like the crappiest brush ever. But it's also super cheap. Oh, that's a lot. Don't worry if it looks like you're doing too much and too much rust is disappearing. We ain't got to the weathering yet. It's just gonna get dirtified even more again. But yeah, here we go. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty nasty and good. Yeah. And you can keep going back and forth forever. So at one point you have to look at it and say, that's good enough. Let's stop there. Let's not overdo it because you can literally overdo it. Okay, we're gonna keep the brush. We don't even have to clean it because there's hardly any paint in it. But we're gonna need some more, a little. Oh, that's the trigger. Let's not throw away the trigger, maybe. What time do we have? Oh, it's almost going on 5 hours now. Just a few more minutes for that. Well, technically, always start a few minutes ahead of time and let the stream start running. But yeah, okay. I actually do want to clean this out. There was way too much metal color in there than I thought. So let's grab us a bunch of paper. Just getting most of that out there. Get some paint, especially uh, on the end. You don't have to go. The best thing is that you're never going to get paint in here almost, so you're pretty safe. And then we're just going to start with the edges, and this time we're going to follow the same direction the whole time. It just makes it all look better. Well, for the most part we're going to follow the same direction. And what this does, it knocks some of the shininess out, gives us a little bit more of a dirty look. Especially when you start looking a bit closer at it, it's gonna make uh, a lot of sense. And then we'll have to get these painted. I don't think I want them brown. Oh god, that's a big ugly flat surface with like way too much. Let's just mix in some metallics in that, bring some shine back. Since all the colors get jumbled up here anyway, so you can just mix freely. Be careful with metals so you don't get any, if you're painting parts that are not supposed to be metallic. They can it can look really weird if you get some metallic sprinklings in there. Okay, so we're done with that brush. Let's bring back the small brush. And a tiny amount of that. And then a very wet color. Uh, Starting to create some kind of streaking, especially around like these edges where you want more dirt. Just imagine where things would pool up if there was water running on this. We might actually want to go in some more metals there, I suppose. And the brown is what we have used for dirt, so we're gonna do another pass of this similar thing, where we have a very watered down color with the same brown, but we're gonna add some black to it. Like around the screws and everything, there's always pooling. All these parts where dirt collects. Don't worry if you get any paint on there and it looks like you're running paint, because water and paint and fluids that run is part of life in the wastelands. And this water has some blue in it. It doesn't matter if you use dirty water when you're, well, because you're dirtying things. No, it doesn't matter if it's blue. It doesn't matter if it's purple. It doesn't matter if it's pink. Because you never know what kind of a pollen or like dirt or whatever you're gonna come across in the wastelands. Dirt isn't brown, stones are not grey. And that's just way too much water. I want it super, super runny, so we don't get too much pigmentation, but not that runny. Okay. And imagine this is holstered most of the time, so it's probably gonna be this is down. So streaking should occur this way a little bit. But it's gonna look really wonky when you hold it. So there, now you have this option. Do you do realistic? Because you can just also take like if you really want to know where water goes, I'll show you how to figure that out. All you need to do to figure out where a fluid would go on a thing is, well, to drop some fluid on the thing. If there's coming something from here, where does it go? Where does it pool up? And I don't know, can you see this? Yeah. Can you see how it builds up here before it flows over? And that means this area is going to be very dirty because the water stops there, and because of the surface tension, it's going to build up. So when in doubt, Douse it with some water and you will find out. And then you can just go in with a damp brush and feather the edges. You don't want to leave any sharp edges anywhere, really. And don't worry if the water that you just had on runs around and messes up your paint job a bit, because that is what will happen. You know, if you want it to look real, just have a bunch of water dripping on it, and it will be fine. Oh yeah, uh, since the muzzle flash comes partially out of here, we should probably do some darkening down, because this is it's basically a muzzle brake. Right, so everything around these holes and maybe even the front a bit is gonna. We can just dab it around with our fingers. And the same thing here. Water pools around things. And you can see it's actually doing it right now. Live in front of you right now. Water pooling up around fake rivets. And around all the edges. So this isn't shadows, this is weathering. We don't paint shadows in general on full screen props. On full size 1:1 scale things. Because they get shaded naturally in the environment you are in from the lights. But we do weather them. Even if this is a new shiny Star Trek thingy, it will have fingerprints somewhere. It will have a little. I mean, you wouldn't do it like this, but you shouldn't leave it unweathered. Pixel pet peeve number one when it comes to like anything is people who don't weather things almost at all, especially when you do. To me, it's very important when you do cosplay. I don't say that it is. I'm not telling anybody how they should do their cosplays. But to me, if you want to sell it, wash your damn clothes like 4 times before wearing them. Wrinkle them. You're gonna get dinner. What are you gonna dinner? Are you dining some meat? So yeah, wear your clothes more than just on stage. Let them lie in a corner wrinkled. Unless you're like doing super mega ultra princess and it has to be like she's gonna look like a princess, you know what I mean. But otherwise, wear your clothes like normal. Wear and tear is good for your cosplay. It's good for your weathering. Color is not the only thing that's important on fabric, but that's another story. But yeah, weathering, dust. Oh, look at my desert soldier. You're shining. You're a desert soldier in a desert. Why are you shining? Eat your snacks, take your meds, and drink water. Don't have meds, have no snacks at the moment. Cheers. And then at some point, put your things away and say, hey, I'm done with this. It might not be complete in many ways, but I'm done with this now. And you know what? We are getting close to that. We're gonna do some paint on that, of course. Because this is also a thing that you can just keep going and adding layers and going back and lighting things up, cleaning things up, going back, going it again, and blah 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 blah. And there is a point where you have to go, okay, no, this is done now, or this is as done as it's gonna be, or you know, something like that. light brown, maybe? I don't know. Oh, I like how that smudge came out. That's beautiful. I always find like one little piece that I look at and I'm just like, yeah, that's the make it or break it. If you weren't there, I wouldn't like this piece, but now that you're there, it's just gorgeous. And I think this smudge part is one of my favorite parts of this build actually. But yeah, you can go on and do streakings and mud and things forever. But we're gonna go and let this dry. Then we're gonna paint that. Then I'm gonna look at it one final time. Then it's time to push the button. The button of that will decide the future owner and therefore also the coolest survivor in all of the wastelands. All of them. And then of course we're gonna have to glue back the trigger. It's not much of a gun if you can't pull the trigger. I brought my miniature paints over in case of, but I haven't had to use them. I also brought my little washes, which are little shades. These are really nice for streaks and stuff. But a gun that is in movement quite a lot, or in a holster, protected mostly by a holster, won't have that many clear streaks on it because it changes position so much. A mask or a helmet is like basically, I mean, you bend over and stuff, but basically everything runs down this way. And on a gun that you and then you move it, and it just doesn't really happen in the same way. Okay, that's done. Down, 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 down. Yeah, and if we need to paint more, we have paint on all the little plates and tablets thingies. So we don't need to have any opened paints. We'll keep a brush nearby because we need to do one more color. And what color? I'd rather be only one wasteland. Yeah, yeah. Well, if you can choose, that would probably be a wise choice. And also looking at things from afar, as I said. When I'm standing over here and looking at that and not holding it, staring at it blindly, that looks pretty damn good. And it's not really done until I have painted the strap. And we're just gonna go for the brown. It's a piece of leather. They probably cut it from like old belt or something to make the grip more comfortable. So a splash of that brown. And then we're gonna have to dirty down the brown a bit again. Of course with black and stuff because it's gonna be worn. Otherwise it's gonna look really weird. And when you start looking closely at it, it looks a bit, okay, this is a bit funny. And then you look at it from a distance like I did. Mm, 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 mm. Then it's starting to look all Oh, there's a bit of let's fake it. There's a bit of non-metallic painting going on here in between. So let's just dirty it up instead of trying to fix it with metallic paints and stuff. And then we have to get this part, of course, because you can see the green from the craft foam shining through. And we kind of don't want that. And look, thanks to all the stippling, I can literally feel the structure of the paint, and it's just amazing. Because that's what rust will do. It will give you a structure. It will give you a texture. And by stippling on paint and not bothering to wait for it to dry between the layers, we have achieved a definitely in some places this could be more textured, but in some places, like over this edge here, just like cuddling with a rusty bucket. And who doesn't like that? Tasty structured paint, exactly. Texture and structure and all the goodness. A tiny bit of dirtification to go. And then it is time. Hello, Plebus Vox. Welcome in to the workshop. Oh yeah, we need to put back the trigger on there as well. Let's not forget the trigger, shall we? Uh, we are about doing the final steps of making and building. Uh, is where we are. We're going to glue back the trigger that fell off when I was a little bit aggressive with the brush. We're going to do some weathering on part of the handle. It's drying over there right now. So that's what we're waiting for. Yeah, yeah, no, super clean Pip-Boy is no, 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 no. If you wanna look Pippi and Boy. No, so we are literally at the end. There's not much time. Ah, oh, oh, I'm so sorry. No, uh, I start my local time at 2 o'clock, so that's about 5 hours and like 20 minutes ago or something. So yeah, there is gonna be a VOD if you want to see. I keep talking and rambling about a lot of stuff. Obviously, you can't ask me things in the VOD like that, but I hope it will help some anyway. We will be doing more building things as on the Thursday streams as well. Maybe just not the Pip Boy. We talked about Pip Boy, not the Fallout guns, but other things as well. But we'll probably. I'm definitely going to do more Fallouty stuff as well. And I do love myself a good weathering. So that is if that's something you want to have a question about, you're gonna have plenty of chances to do that. I think too. And if nothing else, sometime next week, I'm just removing the sticky stuff here. Actually, that's a nice texture. No, but sometimes next week I should have a Discord up and running. I'm just making sure I get some good channels and fixing things and learning how to moderate it and stuff like that. But so when that is up, people can always pop in there and ask. I'm always happy to talk about things. Oh yeah, and painting rusty. I mean this piece that is so super worn uh, is actually quite easy. It's a lot of stabbing it with brushes to get paint textures and so. But yeah, painting props is also definitely gonna happen. Both shiny, pretty things and a lot of things like really rusty and worn things like that. It's 10 a.m. there, right? 9 hour, 10 a.m. So you're like US West Coast, or on that side of the world anyway, I'm guessing. So we need to weather this down a bit, just a bit. And we can actually do that with just some paper. We don't even need the brush now. Yeah, I thought the 9 hours sounded about right. Because this is where the dirty wastelander grips the gun, right? So that gets dirty, 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 dirty. Oh, and this part was a bit shiny for me, so we can. Yeah. Let's add some fingerprints because, as I said, this is the grip area, of course. And I think, yeah. So it's a bit wet in some places, so before I do anything more, I'm gonna put it back down here where the heat fan is that you can hear in the background. Oh my god, it's a toasty 23 degrees in here now. Hasn't been that warm since forever. The workshop isn't super duper. Oh yeah, we also got glue going on there. You are back. It's 23 degrees in here right now. Oh, thank you, Bone Shooter. That is very kind. But yeah, I enjoy telling people what to do. I enjoy helping people out and giving them answers and helps as much as I can. Oh, the glue that we put in here is all gooey and stuff. I like that. It looks all messed up. And it's wonky enough to be wonky. If you look at it, it's not totally straight line this, but it's wonky enough to like look at it could work. But you might like question if you want to use it, but it could kind of work, right? Contact cementing the trigger in place. Let's have a look at it in the camera. Always a good idea. Don't use your eyes only. Indeed, doesn't it? Because my eyes are, my brain is a little bit tired. I can, because I know what this is, because I recognize it directly, so I can see how the brushes has worked. But if I look at this there on where I have the screen, that looks like a damn rusty piece of metal to me. Yeah, dual stream. Well, we have thought about doing a dual stream, either a multi-stream sort of thing or stream on the same account or whatever. We're definitely doing that with some minis sometimes or something. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Uh, Especially around here where you have this sort of muscle break, you could make more this darker and more bluish, like there's a lot of heat there. And the same thing around the back area here. But I have also cheated. I don't even have any holes in the back of the cylinder, just in the front, because that's what you see most. I also left the edge here on purpose, so it would look really like a homemade and not cylinder, not a solid piece. But yeah, looking at it through a camera, because it catches the light and things in a totally different way, is a really good help when you want to look at something. And because now I look at it now with my eyes, and it goes like, I kind of want to do this, and then I look at it there, and I'm like, nah, this is done. Yeah, actually, it's got a bit too much metal shine for being buried in a mine. Trust me, it would be a thick layer of just the orangey rust. But the reason why this isn't just orangey rust now is because it's in my holster. I pull it up, I reload it, I handle it, and you know, otherwise it would probably be. All right, let's see. Yeah, that one, super shiny metal, but it probably gets shaved a lot from the holster, I guess. I don't know. A little bit of wetness there still, but that's gonna dry out nicely. I love how this build-up went up, and this is my favorite part. I like this part too, and I like, oh, that's a nice streak actually. But yeah, and some nice shaving, highlighting with the metal, so there was a scraped off. But this, and it has that nice texture that is reminiscent of rust in a way, without making my fingers even more dirty than they already are. All right. Oh, that's a good dinner. That's a good dinner. I actually like Billy's pan pizza. People go like, I can eat them, and I'm like, but they're tasty. I like them. They're tasty. Any size. Okay, yeah. Well, Billy's pan pizzas are kind of not super big, so. Well, there's only one thing left to do today. We need to figure out who is going to be the lucky wastelander that can maybe survive for 3 seconds more against 15 red scorpions because they have a revolver. How about it? Is everybody that wants in on this now? We have 14 people in. I'll count to 5, then it's too late. Well, actually, if I count to 5 and then there's 15 seconds delay, so okay. Anybody who's not in and want in, pipe dream in chat. One word, no exclamation mark or anything. Pipe dream in chat if you want to have a chance against the red scorpions so you can chase them away with this makeshift rusty piece of metal that does not even have a single bit of metal in it. Oh, pipe dream. Yeah. Well, there's the last entry. The last entry of the day. Oh, you already said pipe dream with the exclamation mark. It added you. It says, yeah. So you're good. You're there. 15 entries. Okay. I'm drawing it now. And congratulations, Simon. I know you're not here because you were at work. What did what why isn't it how long is the delay? Does it not pop it up in chat? Are you serious? Are you absolutely yeah, but ah, okay. Okay, I had to click a button. And we'll see if it shows. What? Yeah, but still I want it to pop up there. That's like what it should do. Oh, I have to click there as well. Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you, Moonbot. You and I need to have a conversation, Moonbot, because I we need to. There, yeah, yeah. I had to click a button. I might not use Moonbot for giveaways. I might just use Stream Elements or whatever. We'll look it up. I'm not gonna do giveaways super much anyway. But when you look, I'm gonna send them a message, of course. But otherwise, if you were looking at this as a VOD, Simon, congratulations. Basically. There it goes. Yeah, Simon says make paint play. That is super cool. Do you know why? Because he and a bunch of his friends are actually making other Fallouty stuff, and they do like Fallout LARP thingies. So I don't know if the Destinies intervened or something. Oh, well, that is a 5 hour, well, 5.5 hour almost build of pipe gun. It takes a lot longer than I thought. But then again, I'm always in the looking, trying to look at the chat and be talking to you lovely, awesome people. Thank you so super duper 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 much. Is he streaming? Is Simon streaming right now? Are you kidding? Is Simon streaming right now? Because that means it's gonna lag a bit now that I'm doing things. Yeah, and all my VODs will also be uploaded to my YouTube. It's pixel props there as well. Uh, so if you want to see something that is too old, you can always go back and see that. It's nice of you to drop in. Sorry you didn't have time to see all that much, but next time, or the VODs. Let's go to the creator's dashboard. Where is where I belong right now? Because I know I can write stuff in chat, but I like to do the click on. So yeah, we're gonna go and visit the winner of this funny little day. Then I'm just loading up things so everything is ready. I'm gonna click play in the raid channel thingy for the channel preview, so it doesn't accidentally start doing. Why am I not following him? That is so weird. Twitch, you are so weird. All right. Well, yeah. Uh, yeah. It's Simon Says makes paint play. It's the right. He's working on a refinery piece thingy. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, super duper much. I am going to start this raid off. Let's go. Exactly. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Then I can just, I guess. Because I don't follow him, so I don't know how this is gonna, how I'm gonna, yeah, whatever. We're gonna click right now. We're gonna click right now. Are we ready? We're ready? Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you for today. You guys are awesome.